Hi, I'm Claire and this is my September wrap-up and October TBR. This month I completed one physical book, 2 audiobooks and 2 comic books, and I've got another one of each on the go at the minute. First off, I read The Rabbitback Literature Society by Pasi Ilmari-Jeskalainen. This is a magical realism novel that was translated from Finnish, and I reviewed this book for my Speculative World series, so if you'd like to see the video, it's over here. I really like this book. It's not a book that's easy to just rush through. You kind of need to take it at a slower pace, so that kind of took me a couple of weeks as my physical book that I was reading. At the same time as I was reading The Rabbitback Literature Society, I listened through a few different audiobooks. First of all, I spent quite a bit of time this month listening to The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I recently DNF'd this book. I listened to 15 hours of the 45 hours audiobook of this. It's an epic fantasy, and it's something that I thought I would really enjoy because I generally enjoy long books and I've enjoyed Brandon Sanderson's books before, but in this case I just didn't really take to any of the story threads that were going on. It just didn't click with me this time around, and I was a little bit disappointed because I expected to like it. After that, I finished listening to Yes Please by Amy Poehler. This is her book about her life, and I had listened to a fair chunk of it in August. I thought it was fun, overall entertaining, but nothing earth-shattering, although I'm glad I've listened to it. I don't think I would kind of recommend it to other people. Next, I listened to Phoenix Rising, which is book 1 in the Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences series, and that is by Pip Ballantyne and T. Morris. This is a steampunk novel. It's set in the Victorian era. We have a shadowy, secret ministry that works to preserve the interests of Queen and country. We have our 2 secret agents who are the main point of view characters in the book. One of them is an archivist and he's a fairly stuck-up gentleman, and one of them is a field agent and she is a feisty red-headed lady who kicks a lot of ass. Now, of course, she gets in trouble for not following the rules and gets reassigned to the archives to work with this rather stuck-up guy. And they have to work together and they end up digging up an old cold case and solving it. And getting into a lot of trouble on the way. This was a fun read. There were moments where I really rolled my eyes because there are fairly traditional steampunk tropes in there, which kind of are a little bit tired for me, and I say that as someone who really loves steampunk and writes steampunk. There were also moments in there where I was really engaged in the characters and the relationship and how they were going to work things out. At times it did get a little bit over the top for me, but I think overall it was a really fun read, and I picked up the next audiobook in the series. Next, I read a whole bunch of comic books. First, we've got this one, which is called Terminally Illin, Volume 1, Chaos in Manhattan, and this is by Kayleen Andrus and John Solo. The publisher is Last Gasp, and I was sent this for review by the UK distributor Turnaround UK. The tagline, in case you can't read it, is Cancer is not funny, cancer is hilarious. And it is based off Kayleen Andrus's blog, which is also called Cancer is Hilarious. And basically she's a cancer survivor and a cancer advocate, and she's written about her experience. I'm going to be doing a comic book review video in which I cover this one and a couple of the other books that I've read recently, this month or last month, so I will talk about it in more detail in that coming video. Next, I read Black Science Volume 1, How to Fall Forever, and this is by Rick Remender, Matteo Scalera and Dean White, and it's out from Image. I picked this one up from my local comic book store a few months ago. I was sold on it because it's all about parallel universes and a team traveling through those. And remember the good old days when Sliders was on? I used to love Sliders. The basic story is that Grant McKay, who is an anarchist scientist, has found a way to make this weird pillar machine that lets him travel through dimensions and parallel universes, and this is about the first mission that he and his crew do and how it goes all wrong, and he happens to be stranded in random parallel universes without a way to get home with his boss who he hates, and his mistress, and also his kids. Whoops. I definitely enjoyed it, but at the same time, I have some reservations. You'll have to watch the comic book review for more detail. So those were the books that I finished in September. I'm currently reading The Cage of Zeus by Sayuri Ueda, and that is another one that is for the Speculative World series, so that will be my next review for that. I'm really early into this one, but it reads fairly quickly for now anyway. And behold the reading material I have for tonight. It's Saga Volume 5 by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan. I'm really excited about reading this. I had a couple of days off this week so I could have a long weekend and focus on working on my book, some writing and some editing, things like that. So I have been saving this as my reward for a productive writing weekend, and I'm going to read it tonight, which I'm really excited about. So technically it should probably be in with the actual September books and not the currently reading, but you know, whatever. As you know, I don't normally do a TBR section. However, recently I've really found that I need to have a TBR because I am getting more review copies. I need to schedule when I'm going to read certain things so I can review them at the right time when the book is coming out. I've only got 2 physical books for my TBR this month, and those are Planetfall by Emma Newman. This is an arc and it comes out in early November, so I definitely want to read it in October so I can make a review for the appropriate time. And the next thing I want to read is Carmilla by J. Sheridan Le Fanu, and as you can see, it's a really tiny book. It's a classic of the Gothic genre. It's a vampire novel that came out before Dracula, and there is also a Pemberley digital adaptation. I really want to read this book and then see the web series and see what I think of both of them together. In October, I'm also really hoping that I can get to some more creepy reads in time for Halloween, but I haven't really picked which ones yet, so I guess we'll see. So that was my September wrap-up and October TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of the things that I talked about, or if you can think of any books that I would enjoy based on what I talked about in this video. If you'd like to see more from me, you can check the sidebar right here to see what I've been up to. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button for more videos from me every week. I've been Claire, thanks so much for watching, and see you soon.